Hello student, most welcome to my online classroom. Today in this video, I'll teach you Lost Spring part 2. In first part of the same lesson, I have taught up to page number 14. This video I am beginning from page number 15, first paragraph onward. Dear student, one suggestion, please keep your book open and follow me line by line. Some meanings I wrote here and some instructions and meaning of some new phrases I'll tell you during explaining the lesson. So please follow me line by line and follow my instructions also. So let's move to the video from first paragraph, page number 14. I remember a story a man from Udupi once told me as a young boy he would go to school past an old temple. Here the narrator means writer is telling that she remembered one story. This story was told her by one person. He was from Udupi. He told a story of a young boy. The young boy who at the time of going to his school is staying in one temple. The temple was on his way to school and praying the God. Past an old temple where his father was a priest. So the temple was on his way to school, and in this temple his father was a priest. He would stop briefly at the temple and pray for a pair of shoes. So that boy was staying in that temple for some time and praying to the God to get a pair of shoes. 30 years later, I visited his town and the temple, which was now drowned. After 30 years again, the narrator visited this town. So the temple where this boy was praying for the shoes, the temple was not appeared there. It was drowned in an era of desolation. Desolation means it may be decayed or destroyed. Meaning of these two words I wrote here. Desolation means it is decayed or destroyed. The temple was not existed there after 30 years. In the backyard where lived the new priest. Here backyard means at the backside of this place, one new priest was living. There were red and white plastic chairs. And the narrator noticed there red and white plastic chairs. One more thing she noticed, a young boy dressed in a grey uniform, wearing socks and shoes. One young boy, he wore socks and shoes, and he was in grey uniform, arrived panting and threw his school bag on a folding bed. Arrived means he came from school. Panting means he was gasping, he may be tired, and he threw his school bag on the folded bed. Looking at the boy, I remembered the prayer another boy had made to the goddess. And when the narrator looked at the boy, so in the mind of narrator, story of one more boy came who had made to the goddess, who was praying to the goddess when he had finally got a pair of shoes. First he prayed to the God and he got the pair of shoes, and again the boy was praying the goddess, let me never lose them. Again the boy who got the pair of shoes, he was praying the goddess that the goddess had granted his prayer that he should not lose his pair of shoes. The goddess had granted his prayer and his prayer was accepted by the goddess. Young boy, like the son of the priest, now wore shoes. And now the narrator is comparing this young boy who was the son of the new priest to the boy who was in the story. But many other like the rag picker in my neighborhood remain shoeless. This was the lucky boy. The son of the new priest was the lucky boy because he got the pair of shoes. Here the narrator is telling that in her neighborhood still many boys are there, many rag pickers are there, they don't have shoes, they are still shoeless. Next paragraph, my acquaintance. Acquaintance means the known or some familiar person. I wrote the meaning of this word here, acquaintance. Acquaintance, familiar or known person. With the barefoot rag picker, rag picker leads me to Simapuri. That person took writer to one place. The name of the place is Simapuri, a place on the periphery of Delhi. This place was located, still it is located at the periphery. Periphery means at the outskirts. I wrote the meaning, outskirts or outer boundary of Delhi, yet miles away from it metaphorically. In comparatively, Delhi and Simapuri both are very close. It is the periphery of Delhi, but in both the places, a lot of differences are there. Delhi is highly developed and Simapuri is badly backward. Those who live here are equators who came from Bangladesh. The people, those who live in Simapuri are the squatters. They came from Bangladesh. Squatters means the people, those who came from some other place and occupied the useless land. So they are called squatters. So they came and they settled in this place. So they are now living there. Who came from Bangladesh back in 1971. These people came. Saheb's family is among them. So the people, those who are living there, out of these all people, Saheb's family was also one of them. Simapuri was the wilderness. Wilderness, I wrote. Wilderness means it is uncultivated and useless land. It still is, but still it was uncultivated, but it is no longer empty. But it was not empty. It was uncultivated, but it was not empty. In structures of mud with roofs of tin and tarpaulin, devoid of sewage, drainage or running water, live 10,000 rag pickers. In this place, around 10,000 rag pickers are living there. They are living in mud houses. Just as the roof of their houses, they spread the tarpaulin. There is no drain water facility, no drainage, no running water, and no facilities are there. Still, 10,000 rag pickers are living in this place. They have lived here for more than 30 years without an identity. One more important thing, these 10,000 family, those who are living in Simapuri, they are living there for 30 years onward, more than 30 years, but still they don't have any identity. Without permit, but with a ration card that get their names on voters list. They got the ration card, and through this ration card, they got their name in voter list and enable them to buy grain. And in this way, they were permitted to purchase grain from the grain store using the ration card. Accordingly, then what is important? Food is more important for survival than an identity. They thought, or they are thinking, that food is more important than their identity. If at the end of the day we can feed our family and go to bed without an aching stomach. Here they are telling that if in the end of the day, means that in the evening or at the night, can go feed our family and go to the bed. Suppose they won't go to their bed in empty stomach, means after eating their satisfied food, suppose they will go to their bed, we would rather live here than in the field that gave us no rain. So here The narrator is telling that it is better to live in this place because anyway we are able to manage our food. But the place, that they came from Dhaka, so there they were not able to manage their food also. So the place Simapuri where they are living is better than the place in Dhaka from where they came. Say a group of women in tattered saris when I asked them why they left their beautiful land of green field and rivers. So when the narrator asked the question that why did they come to Simapuri, so in the answer of her question they told these things. And the answer, the women those who gave, they were in tattered sari, means old and worn saris they wore. And the Dhaka is told here that as the land of green field and rivers. But they don't like to leave this place because they are not able to manage their food. Wherever they find food, they pitch their tent that become transit home. In this place, wherever they got the suitable place, from there they can manage their food or earn some money. So there only they built their house. Pitch their tent means they built their house. And which type of house they built here? Transit means the house can be shifted from one place to other place. Children grow up in them, becoming partners in survival. Children, those who are growing there, so they also support them to earn money, means they also became the partner in survival, means they also have to do something for the survival of the family. And survival Simapuri means rag picking, and the meaning of survival in Simapuri means rag picking. Rag picking is the main job or work of the people. Through the years, it has acquired the proportion of a fine art. Through the years, it has acquired. For doing the same task for many years, this group of the people, they become skilled to do this business or this job. Which job? Rag picking. Garbage to them is gold. For these people, this waste garbage is like a gold. It is their daily bread. This is the source of their daily food for their livelihood. A roof over their head, even if it is a leaking roof. And you know that they don't have good houses, mud houses are there. Their roof is leaking, but for a child it is even more. But it is very useful for them because anyway they are able to get one shelter for staying them. I sometimes find a rupee, even a 10 rupee note. Sahib says, his eyes lightening up. Sahib is telling that at the time of scrounging the garbage, sometime he is getting or he may get one 10 rupees note. He is telling in very exciting way, when you can find a silver coin in a heap of garbage, you don't stop scrounging. And suppose you will get one silver coin at the time of scrounging, so you will continue in the same task. You won't stop it because you will be eager to get some other new things or valuable things from this garbage. For there is hope of finding more. This is the desire or hope to get some more. It seems that for children, garbage has a meaning different from it means to their parent. In this way, for the children and the parent, they have different meaning for scrounging the garbage. Children, garbage has a meaning different from their parents. For children, it is wrapped in wonder. For children, scrounging the garbage is very interesting work. But for the elder, it is a mean of survival. But for their parent, this is one source of their survival or the source of earning money. One winter morning, I see Sahib standing by the fence gate of a neighborhood club. Narrator is telling that one day in winter morning, she noticed that Sahib was standing in her neighborhood near the gate of one club, watching two young men dressed in white. And he watched that two young men were there in the white uniform and playing tennis. I like the game. He hums. He also spoke that he also like this game to play like these people. Content to watch is standing behind the fence. That's why he was standing behind the fence of this house and watching them. I go inside when no one is around, he admit. He thought that when no one will be there, he will go there inside this house or the club. The gatekeeper lets me use the swing, and gatekeeper will also permit him to use the swing. Saheb too is wearing tennis shoes that look strange over his discolored shirt. That day Saheb also wore one pair of shoes. They were looking because they were not matching to his shirt and short. Someone gave them to me, he says in the manner of an explanation. He told that someone gave these shoes to him. The fact that they are discarded shoes of some rich boy. And he told that these shoes were discarded or rejected by some rich boy who perhaps refused to wear them because of a hole in one of them. Because one hole was there in one of these shoes, so he rejected them. Does not bother him. But Saheb was not having any problem to wear these shoes. For one who has walked barefoot, even shoes with a hole is a dream come true. The person who don't have shoes, and suppose he got the shoes and having one hole also, so no problem, he will enjoy with these shoes. But the game he is watching so intently is out of his reach. But standing out of this club, he was watching this game. Intent means very eagerly. It was not possible to reach there for his reach, means it was not possible to go and play this game with them. This morning Saheb is on his way to the milk booth, and that morning, one more morning, the narrator noticed that Saheb was going to milk booth, toward one milk booth. In his hand is a steel canister, and in his hand he was having one steel canister. I now work in a tea stall down the road, he says, pointing. He pointed that down near the road he is working now in one tea stall. I am paid 800 rupees and all my meals. He told that he is paid there 800 rupees and he is given free meal also. Does he like the job? I ask. His face, I see, has lost the carefree look. When he asked that does the boy is happy to do this job, but she noticed that the boy was not happy. The steel canister seems heavier than the plastic bag he would carry so lightly over his shoulder. The small steel canister, it was not heavy, but he was feeling it very heavy because the heavier bag what he was carrying, plastic bag, why the canister is appearing or feeling heavier, he is feeling it heavier. Reason he is telling that the bag was his. The plastic bag where he was picking the rag, it was his own bag. The canister belongs to the man, and the canister what he is now carrying, he is not his own. But the canister is of the shopkeeper or the tea shop owner. So he is feeling that it is heavier. Saheb is no longer his own master. In this way, Saheb became servant. He not remain his own master. Dear student, in this way, this part I have completed. I hope that you would have liked this video. Please subscribe my channel, and don't forget to press bell icon so that you can get the notification of my all new upload videos. Thank you. Have a nice day.